everyone, it's Jessica Jane, Coach Eli with another video. That's kind of what the article centers around, separating your personal identity from your work, learning the shared language. The next thing that I would say too is just building your network. This video is going to be a little bit different. Usually I focus on a lot of more IO related content. It's still so different, but a little similar. This time I'm going to be talking about just some of the unwritten rules for corporate success. I recently wrote an article about it, so you can check it out in the description below. And the reason I wrote it is a few reasons. I know some of you all are getting ready to, if you're not already, you're looking into internships, maybe you're leading into your first job. And I just want to share some tips that I learned along the way with you all as you navigate that new space. Um, so just to make your, transition a lot more smoother. And I kind of break it down into three main things that I think would be helpful to you if you take these on for yourself as you go in and start in your career and lean into that. So the first one that I would say is learning the shared language, like really leaning into what your company language is. Every company has a unique jargon that they use. They might describe things one way and you might know it as another way. Lean into how they say it and kind of adopt it in the same way, right? Because that helps with making sure you all are speaking the same language. It kind of takes away that whole thing on what are you talking about? What is that? How is that different? Takes all that away. And B, it just helps level up your influence, right? Especially if you're newer to a company, you're coming in, you want to learn how they say and do things so you can, like, whatever the work that you're doing, you can frame it in that way. And that just helps with buy-in and influence. So that's one part of learning the shared language. The second part of learning the shared language is understanding how they measure success and tying back your work always to how it aligns to that. So if they're measuring success by, they want to increase sales by this way, whatever it is, the work that you do needs to align to how it's increasing sales by X amount of percent. And you need to figure out, okay, how do you connect the dots just to make sure that A, they know what you're doing is impactful, right? It's helping them get to their goals, but also B, it's helping you be able to translate the work that you do into those words so that you understand for yourself, right? How things should be moving along. So that would be, the main things that I would say. And again, that helps with influence. The sooner you can adopt the language and also tie back everything that you're doing, it's gonna help amplify your impact, your influence, and all of that with your stakeholders, and also build trust because they feel like it's not that they feel like you know what you're talking about. They feel like that you get it, right? You're on board, you're playing the same game type of thing. So that's one. The next thing that I would say too is just building your network. It's so important. It's critical. You have to know people. People have to know you. And the reason that's important, it's multiple things, It can help position your name in rooms that you are not a part of, right? So that's one, right? And in a good way, right? If people know you, they know the work you can do. You're likable, people get along with you, you leave an impact, and then they understand your career goals and where you're trying to go. When an opportunity comes up, your name potentially could be put in the hat because they understand where you're trying to go and they might see a match. So it's important that, especially, if you're looking to move into marketing or something like that, you start having those conversations with people in marketing. Don't just tell your boss, don't just tell your peers and you all are in finance or something. You need to talk to them, right? And see how, start that conversation, see how you potentially could get a stretch assignment, understand those transferable skills. Ask people, what is it, that you do? How did you get here? What are the key skills, key competencies to be successful in your type of role? And you will be able to connect dots for yourself and be able to lean in that way. But it all starts with having the conversation. And it all starts with people just, knowing who you are. So don't be afraid to talk to people. Set one-to-ones up, right? Talk to people. Ask them questions. And just lean in because it can take you further than you knew, right? Attend those company events. Introduce yourself. Talk to people. All of that is important. I know some people tend to get some people may be naturally more introverted. Some people may feel, if people don't reach out to them, it's not going to work as well. But I would challenge you all, when it comes to situations like that, don't let that stop you, right? I myself classify myself as a somewhat introverted, extroverted type of person. I think when I did is it the Myers-Briggs? I can't remember, but the original time that I did it, I was I and E. It was weird. It was something weird like that. But I just say that, you kind of have to push yourself out of those barriers. And if you want, like, ask your boss to give you an introduction. If you feel a little uneasy about something, like, just ask your boss, like, hey, can you introduce me to this person? I've done that plenty of times. Sometimes my bosses come to me asking me, like, hey, I like the work you do. What type of work are you interested in? Who can I introduce you to? People, for the most part, are open to help. So let them, right? Let them help you. And just, take on the risk of going after it and chatting with people and such. So that's what I would say. And then the next thing that I had on there too was around separating your personal identity from your work. And the reason I say that is it's very easy to get caught up in the work that you do and believing that, pouring yourself into it. And as soon as you get some feedback or some critiques, taking it personally because you poured your whole being into it. Watch out for that. We all make that mistake. I've made that mistake plenty of times. It's a watch out. And I would just say, in moments, one of the ways you can kind of navigate that, circumvent that, is when you're coming up with an idea or something like that, talk with somebody, right? Bring people in early. You may have a draft or something, ask somebody to review it. Bring people in early so that A, you're building sort of like a collective ownership of whatever it is that you're looking to put forward or anything like that. But also B, you're getting a gut check if this is something that the business would be behind, right? If this is something that's meeting the mark, is this something that the business could benefit from? Because, companies, they're putting money, resources, effort, energy behind something. They want to make sure it's going to be impactful. And so leaning into, your network, asking them questions, asking them, do they think this is the right way, X, Y, and Z? That's going to be helpful for you. And to say the project does get green lighted, you still want to keep people in the loop, right? You still want people around. Leveraging a project charter will take you far because you know who the right it forces you to sit down and think, like, who are the right people that need to be involved in this process. And again, it takes away, it takes you out of the, I have to own all of it and do all of it. And it puts you in more of a shared environment where we all are working on this together, right? I have a part to play, you have a part to play, but this is a product or an idea or whatever, and we're all working to make this the best that it can be. So that would be, for me, like, that was something that I struggled with early on, right? If something didn't get accepted or something wasn't, I'd be like, oh dang. Like, to some extent, right? I learned a little bit how to, like, separate myself from it. And I think, honestly, quite frankly, some of my going through grad school helped with that, right? Because we get feedback on our work all the time, right? We get feedback on our research, on whatever. Like, you write a paper, you don't expect that paper to go in and it's just 100%. Like, it's just never going to be like, you're always going to have feedback. There's always ways to improve. And that's just ways to think about the work that you're doing. When you submit something, or don't look at it as a personal reflection of your own inadequacies. Look at it as, okay, this is going to be better, right? This is going to be a better final end product or idea or whatever that we can take forward and provide it to the business. So that would be, that's kind of what the article centers around. It just centers around these tips to really help you navigate because, as we go through, we all have different experiences and starting points in which we're starting at when we start in our career, right? There's some research out there. I referenced it a little bit. Annette LaRue, she did a longitudinal study where she was looking at some of that. And, she found differences for people that come from different backgrounds. And that's okay. And the great thing about these, navigating the corporate world is that these things can be learned and you can learn them. And so I just wanted to make sure, I shared this out with you all, and thank you all for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and yeah, reach out anytime. See you later.